many banks in the region. We need to, integrate more systems to facilitate our people sending money across border. It's already happening. We believe that is also going to boost trade and business in our region. But beyond that, we need more human movement, which is happening with a single East African visa. We can now travel as a Kenyan citizen or Rwandan citizen only with your ID. You don't need a passport. So all of this is going to create relationships, and these relationships will also create business partnerships. And we believe with all of that, all these initiatives that are taken by our governments, but also our business people and our young people, we are going to see more business, and we are all going to grow together as a region.
Okay, I would add that we have only 26% banking penetration among adults in Rwanda. Mm-hmm. So we have so much growth in our own backyard. So when you talk about regional integration, I do think that what we're doing here today, the regional integration of our trading opportunities and the partnerships that exist among our exchanges is very important. I think that will only grow and facilitate. But in terms of the idea of us competing outside of Rwanda, we have so much to do in our own backyard to grow our banking business, our insurance business, our capital markets business, that we see a laser focus there as the national champion, as the largest bank with a 33% and growing market share, and the only of the major banks that's a fully Rwandan bank for Rwandans, serving Rwanda in Rwanda. We think that we have a very pivotal role to play in our own domestic market.
True, true. And when you talk about that integration, of course, and you say that you've opened a sort of channel so as to facilitate more of that happening. Let's talk about the shareholders, of course, for Bank of Kigali. I've seen international investors are, taking up about 14% of that. Majority is the government of Rwanda itself, I believe.
No, I think those numbers are a little different now.
Okay.
So, in fact, the government reduced their position because they didn't subscribe in the secondary
so where do we stand
offering.
Now?
So I will tell you that the majority of our investors are not counting the Rwandan Social Security Board.
Yes.
Are international. Okay. Now, I've been an emerging markets banker for 30 years, working on 3 continents, and this is a very normal and expected development. As Rwanda as a country and an economy gets wealthier, our domestic capital markets will grow. But still in the first decade or two of the life of any international emerging stock exchange or market, it's driven and supported by foreign investment. And without naming specific shareholders, because that's not appropriate or protocol, yes, I can tell you that one of the 3 U.S.-based fund managers with over $1 trillion in assets has taken a significant position. Our investor base is very prestigious and prominent, and it reflects the desire of many people in the international investment community to want to bet and invest on the future of Rwanda, Inc. And if you want to do that, the national champion, the most liquid and heavily capitalized local security is BK Group, Bank of Kigali.
Okay. So, and as we talk about, of course, international investors taking up major chunks of your Bank of Kigali and other businesses as well, what are some of the greatest factors that would then affect them being there long term? What are some of the factors that need to be in place so as to maintain this relationship, Diane?
Yeah, I think, again, it's all about the growth opportunities that Rwanda offers. Mm-hmm. And being the only Rwandan company listed on the Nairobi Securities Exchange, I think we are the only proxy to someone who wants to invest in the Rwandan story. The story has been fantastic. Over the past 25 years, we've seen transformation in all sectors. And people who've been to Rwanda, when they come and they see us, they really amazed and they want to invest in Rwanda. And we tell them, if you want to invest in Rwanda, BK is the best proxy. And for them, again, Rwanda is at the early stages of its development, and the development is not it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. And people see the bank supporting this development over the next decade or 2 decades. We believe, as Mark said, when you look at our investors base, Many of them are there for the long term because they see opportunities for the long term. And as Mark said again, we are diversifying across many business lines in the financial services. We have banking, we have insurance, we have technology, we have also investment banking. And these are not businesses that can grow overnight. You really need someone who invests for the long term, and we've had these conversations with our shareholders. And of course, we still want to create some pool of liquidity for people who want to trade and get a good return. And as we are delivering very good returns to our investors, I think we'll see a lot of movement on our counter in Nairobi.
So I've seen you both mention the Rwanda story quite a bit. What are some of the key milestones that you've seen in this growth trajectory that you have particularly positively influenced by to keep on working? As you say, it's a marathon, not a sprint. What are some of those key milestones that you've noted through this growth process that has kept you going, Mark?
It's the culture of the country. It's absolutely unique, not only in Africa, but anywhere in the world. It's the only emerging market in my 30 years in this business where there's a complete absence and elimination of corruption. There's total transparency, and there is also the prospect for tremendous growth. When you combine all of those things, and you see the earnestness and the dedication and the commitment, not only in the business community, but among the public servants. And all of this stems from the culture that was created by President Kagame. And he set the tone, he set the standard. Now, investors draw great comfort that it's been institutionalized. And it's the most unique opportunity in the world for such a convergence of influences to come together. The other item I would like to add is that Diane and I are particularly inspired by the fact that nearly half of our employees bought stock in the secondary offering. So we formed an ESOP, an employee stock ownership plan, and it's been amazing. The reaction's been absolutely incredible. So everyone in the bank, in one way or another, has skin in the game.
Okay, so it's brought together a lot of people within. And something I heard you say as we wrap up that caught my eye was the fact that there's transparency, there's lack of corruption, and as we know, that is quite a highly debated and grappling issue that a lot of African countries are dealing with. So what do you think is the greatest tool that can prevent this corruption taking root in any institution, as you've seen it's being very much a lack of an issue when it comes to Rwanda? So what would be one of the key things that other countries need to ensure are in place to prevent this from taking over?
Yeah, I think it's all about leadership and walking the talk, because everyone speaks about corruptions and all measures to fight corruptions, but you have to put these measures in implementation and in practice. And this is what our government has very successfully done. And as a result,